You found yourself on another edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United, and on today's episode, the Cleveland Cavaliers take care of business against the Detroit Pistons, and not only that, they have the best court of the in-season tournament so far. Deaaron Fox came up big once again as the Sacramento Kings got a 9-point win over San Antonio, and the Magic sweep the Chicago Bulls. Do the Chicago Bulls have a winning culture, or don't they want to win at all? We got a lot to talk about and a lot of venting that I got to do on today's edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for the post-game reaction podcast of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Sacramento Kings, and the Chicago Bulls. This is Let 'Em Know Kings United. Let 'em know, nation, you know what time it is. Welcome to another edition of Let 'em Know Kings United. This is the Cleveland Cavaliers, Sacramento Kings, and the Chicago Bulls post-game reaction podcast. And I am your host, Carlo Weisberg. Thank you so much for tuning into today's show. You can find Let 'em Know Kings United, which is absolutely free and available on Amazon Music, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Spotify, Pandora, and wherever else you want to listen to this great show. Give the show a follow on those platforms. If you can please turn on your notifications so you know about the next episode. Please rate, spread the word out to your friends, and give Let 'Em Know Kings United a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you are listening to the show on. It is a great way to support the podcast, and I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in, especially on days like today where I am in no mood of talking anything positive. Well, I'm going to talk positive about the Cleveland Cavaliers of the Sacramento Kings coming up later in the show, but I want to start with the bullshit that was the Chicago Bulls. Let me tell you something. If Wednesday's loss against the Orlando Magic wasn't bad enough, you essentially multiply that with another embarrassing, pathetic, heartless, lifeless defeat to the Orlando Magic, 103-97. You essentially are eliminated from the NBA in-season tournament. Let me say this. Thank God that we don't got to see that red court anymore. The red court in the United Center, I am sorry, it is ass. It is ass. I mean, the Philadelphia 76ers are not much better. Anybody that doesn't have like a traditional court like the Cleveland Cavaliers do, you got to do better. The Sacramento Kings one, the Kings one looks nice. The Kings one looks nice to a certain extent, but my God, the Chicago Bulls one, thank God that we don't got to see that one anymore because that was nasty. As a matter of fact, it was just as nasty as the Bulls' effort. The lack of effort in this game was clearly undescribable, in my opinion. I mean, yes, we made another comeback. We made another attempt in the second half, and we actually did get a lead. And I want to give the Bulls credit for that. But my God, you got to play all 4 quarters in order to win. You got to play all 48 minutes in order to win a basketball game. And unfortunately for Billy Donovan and the Chicago Bulls, you haven't learned crap. You haven't learned shit about playing 48 minutes. You haven't. I'm sorry. It's almost like the Chicago Bulls just don't give a damn. You don't give a damn about winning. You don't give a damn about reading a scouting report. You don't give a damn about following a game plan. You clearly lost your mentality. And I want to get into that for just a second because this morning I watched the post-game live show of the Chicago Bulls. And I watched Bulls legends Kendall Gill and Will Perdue talk about this game. And Will Perdue said something that I found really interesting and yet really surprising. You know what he said? He said that the Chicago Bulls lack mentality. You're damn right they do. You damn right they lack a mentality. Because if the Chicago Bulls understood the game, if the Chicago Bulls understood the moment, if the Chicago Bulls understand how to lock in defensively, we would have been blowing the brakes out of the Orlando Magic, which, mind you, again, they had a 19-point lead. They blew a 19-point lead. And the Bulls ultimately beat themselves for the second straight night. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. You know what good teams like Cleveland, Sacramento, and hell, the Houston Rockets do if they play against the Orlando Magic? Although the Houston Rockets lost to the Orlando Magic earlier this season, but whatever the case may be. You know what teams like that do? They just play their game. They understand that the Orlando Magic are not that good. They understand that they are better than the Orlando Magic, and they just take care of business. The Chicago team, this ain't it, bruh. This ain't it. I mean, no one gives a damn. No one gives a damn about putting on a Chicago uniform, to be honest. I mean, if there was only one guy who understood what it means to play for the Chicago Bulls, you can argue that Alex Caruso is the only damn player that understands it and gets it. But everybody else, you are no longer the Chicago Bulls. You are the Chicago Tin Men because you got no heart. You got no heart, no fight, no passion, and we as a fan base are sick of it. We as a fan base are sick of watching a team that feels like that wants to give up every damn game. You cannot tell me that you scored 33 points and a half for 2 consecutive nights and you expect to win a game against the Orlando Magic. I'm sorry, when you score 33 points and a half and you only play for 24 minutes, you only play one half of basketball. When you play only one half of basketball and you score 33 points at the end of the first half, you ain't gonna beat anybody. I don't care if it's the Orlando Magic. I don't care if it's the Los Angeles Clippers. I don't care if it's the Houston Rockets. I certainly don't give a damn if you're playing against the Miami Heat, which, by the way, I think the Miami Heat will kick the Chicago Bulls' ass all over the United Center tonight. I do not feel confident at all about the Chicago Bulls winning this game after the bullshit effort that I've seen the last 2 games. Name me one time where the Chicago Bulls played well. Well, maybe, let me think about that. Nothing. Yes, they showed fight in the fourth quarter. Yes, they showed for a little bit they can make a comeback. But, again, it's too inconsistent. It's the lack of heart. It's the lack of fight. It's the lack of understanding the game plan. It's a lack of defense, and especially in the paint. How many times are you going to let teams like the Orlando Magic dive cut you into the paint and you're not going to do a damn thing about it? You know what the Orlando Magic do when they got in the paint? Since you don't have the balls to defend on the inside of the paint, it's all the way down the floor and they get an easy layup and an easy dunk. It's right down Main Street for the Orlando Magic. They can do whatever the hell they want when they get into our paint because we don't have the balls to defend on the inside. You know what the Orlando Magic did when we got in the paint? They foul us and make us earn it. They foul us and make us earn points at the free throw line. You want to know why? Because the Orlando Magic were the better team. I don't give a damn about the Magic blowing another lead. They were the better team both games, not just on Wednesday night. They were the better team Wednesday night, and they were the better team last night. They were the better team in both games against the Chicago Bulls, and their effort showed it. Yes, they are a team that is trying to learn to sustain a lead. I get that. But you can't tell me that this Orlando Magic team found the urgency in order to win games. And that's something that Billy Donovan and the Chicago Bulls haven't learned too. I think the Bulls are not going to go anywhere this season until Billy Donovan leaves and until the culture changes in Chicago. Because let me tell you something. If you are a supporter of the Chicago Bulls like myself, I am truly sorry that I am going off like this. I am truly sorry because the Chicago Bulls are not just a basketball team, okay? They are a brand that is worldwide. A brand that was centered around the 1990 Chicago Bulls and the greatest Bull that ever lived, Michael Jordan. And unfortunately, the Bulls of the past will not be proud of this current generation of the Chicago Bulls because they have an owner that doesn't give a damn about winning. You know what teams like Oklahoma City do? They spend money. Why? Because they want to win. We have an owner that is so selfish and so greedy that all he cares about is making money and nothing else. He doesn't give a damn about the fan base. He doesn't give a damn about the players. He certainly doesn't give a damn on who shows up or doesn't show up at the United Center. He shows up or he cares about making money. No wonder why the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago White Sox are struggling under this owner's leadership that I'm not going to mention any names here. I want this owner gone. I want this owner to sell the Chicago Bulls. And maybe we can have an ownership group that gives a damn about winning. That cares about the Chicago Bulls. That cares about the city of Chicago. And cares about a fan base that doesn't deserve this crap. That doesn't deserve this crap on the floor every night. God damn it, these Bulls make me sick to my stomach. God damn it. The stats, 48% for the field for the Orlando Magic, 44% for the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls shot 34.5% from three-point range. The rebounding percentage advantage on the Chicago Bulls. But the free throw percentage, 46-34 in favor of Orlando, including 10 offensive rebounds. The points in the paint, 52-34 in favor of the Orlando Magic. What is the style of the Orlando Magic? They like to get shots in the paint. If the Chicago Bulls and Billy Donovan read the scouting report, they would know we got to do a 2-3 zone and force the Orlando Magic to shoot threes all day long. We cannot allow a team like the Orlando Magic get into our paint. When you play a 2-3 zone, it forces teams like the Orlando Magic, who are really good at the paint, to generate shots from outside. If they got three-point shooters like Jonathan Isaac, who had a really good game, who can let it rip, then give it to him. But my God, you cannot allow a team to score 52 points in the paint as you did last night, especially to an Orlando Magic team that doesn't know how to sustain a lead for the life of them. Abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. Franz Wagner, MVP of the game, 21 points with 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Paolo Banchero, 13 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block. Anthony Black only had 2 points in this game. I think we did a really good job of defending him for the most part. But Jonathan Isaac off the bench, he was an absolute stud, and he killed the Bulls in every single aspect. 18 points, 9 rebounds, an assist, a steal, and a block. As far as the Chicago Bulls, although Zach LaVine dropped 34 points, you are absolutely garbage. Zach LaVine, you mean to tell me that you fired 6 shots? Only 6 shots at the end of the first half? And then in the second half, you finally learned how to score. You finally learned how to shoot. You finally learned how to play a point guard. Because Zach LaVine, you're no longer good, bro. I like you as a player, but you're no longer good in Chicago. Have some heart. Have some pride and have some fight. Because Alex Caruso, he showed a lot of fight tonight. 18 points, 3 steals, a rebound, and oh, by the way, he was in the starting lineup. And by the way, I need to go off on the bench. Only 8 points from the bench? Only 8? What? You mean to tell me that this Chicago Bulls team only scored 8 points and you expect them to win? No, sir. No, sir. Chicago Bulls fans, I truly am sorry for the embarrassment that the Chicago Bulls have given to us these last 2 games. If they want to make it up to us, they need to play a full 48 minutes with heart, passion, desire, and they need to lock in against the Miami Heat, which, oh, by the way, the Heat are one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now. This is going to be a long season for the Chicago Bulls. And unless something changes, you're about to hear more rants like this one. Probably much worse. All credit to the Orlando Magic. They had more heart, more desire, more passion, more fight, more grit, more urgency. They were more locked in than the Chicago Bulls, and it completely showed. As far as Chicago, you need to learn mentality. You need to learn a winning culture. You need to learn how to have heart. You need to learn how to win fight. You need to learn how to have fight, and you need to learn to be competitive for all 4 quarters, not just the second half. If you dig another hole in the first half tonight against Miami, I don't know what to tell y'all. I really do not know what to tell y'all. I gotta calm down. We're gonna take a break, but coming up next, we're gonna talk about the first of the 2 positives, and that is the Sacramento Kings winning another game, 5 straight wins over the San Antonio Spurs. We're gonna break that down when we come back on Let 'Em Know Kings United. We're back on Let 'Em Know Kings United, and now that I got the negative ranting out of the way, I want to focus on one of the 2 positive W's that our teams got last night, and I want to say that Deaaron Fox is him. Let me say that one more time. Deaaron Fox is him. He scored a season-high 43 points as the Sacramento Kings beat the Spurs by a final score of 129-120 to go to 7-4 on the season. And now the Sacramento Kings have won 5 straight games. The Kings moved to 5-1 when Deaaron Fox is on that floor. They are 2-3 when Deaaron Fox got hurt. You want to know why the Kings need Deaaron Fox? Because Deaaron Fox is just a special player. He scored a season-high 43 points, and the Sacramento Kings overcame a 27-point performance from Victor Wembanyama. And by the way, not only a 27-point performance from Victor Wembanyama for Sacramento, they got off to one of the slowest starts that I've ever seen out of the Sacramento Kings. At one point, I think it was 25-5, 27-5 in favor of San Antonio, somewhere in that range. And I thought, damn, maybe the Kings were a little too tired. Maybe they were taking a little bit long of a nap. Maybe they were busy shaking the cobwebs. But all I know is this could have been a trap game given the fact that San Antonio was outplaying Sacramento. And oh, by the way, Victor Wembanyama outplayed Sacramento in the first quarter. But ladies and gentlemen, the Kings are a team that knows how to respond. They went on a really, really big run to end the quarter, ending the quarter 31-29 in favor of San Antonio. It wasn't the most prettiest start of the game, but they finished stronger than they started. Then the second half came, and then the Sacramento Kings took over. Kevin Huerter, Harrison Barnes, De'Aaron Fox, Chris Duarte, Malik Monk with an absolute nasty of a poster off of Zach Collins. I mean, Zach Collins, what are you doing? Like, What are you doing, my guy? Do you not know that Malik Monk knows how to put fools on a poster? I think he put Rudy Gobert on a poster back on opening day when they were playing on Utah. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, Lord, they better not play with this man. You better not play with Malik Monk. He can get up. He can get up. Yes, indeed, he can get up. Unfortunately, Zach Collins did not learn that lesson. And there was one other poster dunk that was, I'm sorry, Malik Monk. No disrespect towards you. I know you are an electric dunker. I get all of that. But there was one poster that was, I think, to an extent more impressive than Malik Monk's dunk. But I'm going to get into that dunk in just a second because, my God, it was a nasty poster. But anyway, Deaaron Fox. He said something really interesting about the NBA in-season tournament. He said, I'm not one of those guys that are like, I think it's dumb, because I don't. I think it could be interesting for this league. Like I said, almost every league in the world does some type of in-season tournament, so I think it's cool that the NBA are trying to implement it. And I agree. I agree with Deaaron Fox that the fact that the NBA in-season tournament to an extent is working. I mean, the matchups that we get, my God, the games are more competitive than what I thought. See, my reaction going into the NBA in-season tournament was, okay, maybe the in-season tournament might not work out, but it is working out. It is working out because of the back and forth, wild, thrilling action during the entire thing. Like the Houston Rockets LA Clippers game that I watched last night. Oh my Lord, that was fun to watch. But anyway, I want to also talk about the fact that Domantas Sabonis had another double-double. 27 points and 14 rebounds. And let me tell you something. I saw something in the media, and my guy Matt George from Locked On Kings talked about it. Some people are saying that Domantas Sabonis is not a good center. Some people are saying that Domantas Sabonis is good in the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, he's trash. Wait, what? Who the hell said that, huh? Who the hell said that Domantas Sabonis isn't good? Who the hell said that Domantas Sabonis is overrated? I want every single person in the media to say in unison that they were wrong about the Sacramento Kings. They were wrong of the fact that Domantas Sabonis is that damn good. They were wrong on the fact that Sacramento are pretenders because they are nothing more than contenders. 7-4, first place in the Pacific Division. They are a complete, legitimate threat in the Eastern Conference, or Western Conference, I should say. Because the Lakers, they're too inconsistent. They rely too much on LeBron and AD to win games. The Phoenix Suns, I think that team is going to be fine, but with Bradley Beal and Devin Booker too scared to play, too soft as Charmin to get on the court, and Kevin Durant being the only person being consistent, I don't know what to tell you. The Golden State Warriors, they're going to be without Draymond Green for the next couple of games, so I really expect the Golden State Warriors to fall off. And Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs in the bottom of the Southwest Division. I mean, look, Wembanyama, I will say this about this kid. He is impressive. He is impressive because of his size. He is impressive because of the way that he gets to the lane. But I think he's got a lot to learn. He said that it's an everyday fight. I know the end of the season will not look like the beginning of the season. We got a long way to go, and he's making good progression. De'Aaron Fox said about Victor, he's a special player, extremely special player when he's rolling. Talking about Keegan Murray or Victor Wembanyama, he is a special player, extremely special player when he's rolling. You have to be under him because if they throw the ball up, there's literally nothing you can do. Of course, they're talking about Victor Wembanyama, but the veteran Kings withstood the highlights and in the runs to beat the young Spurs. The Kings are a veteran team. They understand how San Antonio can get on a run, but they know how to respond, and that is exactly what they did tonight. About De'Aaron Fox, Chris Duarte said he's a great player. You guys see it day in, day out. He's a guy that we definitely need him scoring the ball, that he does. San Antonio had 33 assists, despite without two of its primary ball handlers. The Spurs were without starting guard Devin Vassell and Trey Jones. Vassell set out with a strain growing, and Jones missed his third straight game with a strained right hamstring. Duarte said about Victor Wembanyama, he's definitely somebody that you got to think twice before you get to the paint because he's so tall. But we took advantage just by being physical with him and make it tough for him. And to Sacramento's credit, that is exactly what they did. But it is all about Deaaron Fox. And in my opinion, he is the odds-on favorite to win the MVP. Yes, of course, they're going to have Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid in the mix. But I think De'Aaron Fox, with this performance, has to be in the conversation for MVP so far this season, right? The Kings, outstanding work. 54% from the field, 42% from three compared to 46% from the field, 41% from three from San Antonio. The rebounds were pretty even. But the rebounds on the offensive end, 6-4 in favor of San Antonio. I think Victor Wembanyama played a big role on that. The assist numbers, 33-31 in favor of San Antonio. The steals were 10-7 in favor of the Kings. The blocks, 3-2 in favor of San Antonio. The turnovers were 15-14. The points in the paint, they were pretty even. So it was a pretty even game. But the veteran Kings got the better of the young and talented San Antonio Spurs, and that's what stood out to me in this game. De'Aaron Fox, he's him, bro. He's him. 43 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Fox around and find out. Domantas Sabonis a double-double with 27 points and 14 rebounds. Kevin Huerter, 9 points. He's coming back down to earth a little bit, but I know he's going to get his game right back up. I think it's a matchup thing with him. Malik Monk coming off the bench, spectacular as usual. 20 points, 8 assists, and 4 boards. As far as the San Antonio Spurs, Victor Wembanyama, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 2 steals, but he had 4 turnovers as well. We did a really good job of defending him. Johnson, 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists. But now the Kings, they are rolling. They're rolling. After a rough start of the year, after a rough early tough start, they're slowly finding their rhythm, and now they've won 5 straight going in to the Dallas Mavericks, who are one of the best teams in the NBA right now. The Mavericks are coming in with a record of 9-3, while the Kings come in at 7-4. It is going to be a fun test for the Sacramento Kings, and I might be watching that game. I might be watching that game over the Cavs in Denver, but with 2 good matchups, it is going to be a very, very tough call for me to make, but I'm going to have fun watching either or, because let me tell you something. That is a fun 2-game slate for the Cavs and the Kings. Cavs, Nuggets, Kings, Mavs. Tough call there. But you know what's not a tough call? The Cavs going back to 500, and the Cavs taking care of business against the Detroit Pistons. As expected, we're going to break the victory for the Cavaliers down when we come back on Let 'Em Know Kings United. We're back here on Let 'Em Know Kings United, and you know what? Despite the fact that the Cleveland Cavaliers split a tough 4-game West Coast road trip, the Cleveland Cavaliers needed a get-right game. They needed a get-right game at home to get their confidence back and to get themselves right back on track. And boy, did they do that, as the Cleveland Cavaliers roll all over the Detroit Pistons, 108-100 in their first in-season tournament game at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. First of all, can I just say that the NBA City jerseys for the Cleveland Cavaliers, those were nice. Those were probably the nicest jerseys that I've ever seen in the NBA. You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the classic opera theater kind of vibe. Now, I'm not a big fan of opera, okay? I'm not a big fan of Shakespeare, and I'm not a fan of opera music. It reminded me almost like a Broadway play almost. It reminded me of a Broadway kind of vibe where the Cleveland Cavaliers wore their red jerseys with the gold letters, the land on it, and they had these really cool straps that reminded me of a theater. It said that they partnered with some kind of playhouse or a playhouse square in Cleveland, Ohio, which is like an orchestral thing, which is absolutely amazing. I love that. I think it's better than the land jerseys that they had last year with the white, light blue, powder blue with the wood shape. I think those jerseys were better than the current jerseys were better than last year's jerseys for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that court, I mean, that has got to be the most professional court in the entire NBA in-season tournament. I saw an article on ESPN that said that the Phoenix Suns have the best in-season tournament court. I'm sorry, in what world could you say that? In what world, ESPN, huh? It's ugly. It's nasty. It's a purple and blue court. I certainly know damn well the Chicago Bulls have the worst court in the NBA's in-season tournament. Facts. The Indiana Pacers have the worst court of the in-season tournament. Facts. What's another one? The Philadelphia 76ers, 2 red, worst in-season tournament court. Facts. There are 3 in-season tournament courts which I like. Number 1, the Cleveland Cavaliers by a long shot. They look professional. It's almost like a traditional court. I like it. Number 2, the Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings have this like blue, dark blue, and gray color. I wish it was purple. I wish it was a purple long runway to Vegas with gray, but gray and blue look fine. And then number 3, despite the fact that I don't cover them anymore, the Detroit Pistons look not that bad. The Detroit Pistons NBA in-season tournament court, I should say, didn't look that bad. But as far as the game, the Pistons look bad, and the Cleveland Cavaliers look absolutely outstanding, with Darius Garland having a season-high 28 points. Evan Mobley and Max Strus scored 18 apiece, and Darius Garland said, "We were back in front of the best fans in the league, and we got our first win of the tournament, so that's really big for us." Craig Porter Jr. is still getting his feet wet, but he's really good, and he's going to keep getting better. And Craig Porter Jr., I have to say, this kid has absolutely surprised me. I mean, yes, he struggled in making free throws against Golden State. We get all of that. I was really mad at him when he was missing free throws on a constant or a consistent basis in Golden State. I get it. But I gotta give him credit because I feel like he improved in that aspect, and he helped the Cleveland Cavaliers in a big way, scoring his career best 12 points in 16 minutes for Cleveland. And the Cavaliers were doing this without Donovan Mitchell, who missed this game because of a right hamstring strain. Garland missed the final game of the road trip against the Blazers with a neck strain and appeared in just his 7th game of the season. J.B. Bickerstaff said, "We know how important Darius is to us. He is the leader of our team. The ball is in his hands, and he has the keys. We need Darius to keep growing and keep leading the team." I think Donovan Mitchell is more of a qualified leader than Darius Garland, in my opinion, but that's another story for another day. With this win, the Cleveland Cavaliers improved to 1-1 in East Group A, while the Detroit Pistons are essentially eliminated from NBA in-season tournament contention, is 0-3. The Pistons, who committed 13 turnovers in the first half, have lost 6 in a row at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse and 6 straight overall against the Cleveland Cavaliers. When I saw that the Pistons were playing the Cavaliers, all I can think is this: death taxes, and the Cleveland Cavaliers beating the Detroit Pistons. I don't give a damn what year it is, bro. It doesn't matter. It just is what it is. The Pistons are not that good. I mean, yes, I stopped covering them a couple weeks ago. I get it. But good thing I stopped because I realized that this Detroit Pistons team is not that good. Not that good. Now, I will give the Pistons credit for this. They did a better job at rebounding more than the Cleveland Cavaliers. They had 51 rebounds in this game, while the Cleveland Cavaliers had 38. I will give Detroit credit for that. If I was the Cleveland Cavaliers, I would need to work on boxing out, and I would learn how to do it quickly, because the Pistons, I think, did a better job than Cleveland crashing the boards and getting second chances. I will give Detroit credit, but you cannot commit 13 turnovers and expect to win against anybody. Monty Williams said this: when you're on the road, you have to be able to take care of the ball, and that's on me to create a better mindset. The turnovers in the first half put us in a hole. I still believe that Monty Williams is a good coach, and I think that Monty Williams is going to take the Detroit Pistons places, but they are not ready yet. Isaiah Stewart said, we know we're right there. Our defense was solid all night, but we had the stretch of turnovers that lost us the game. If we just cleaned that up, we will be fine, and we all know that. But I want to talk about one play that stood out to me. Max Strus scored 13 points in the first quarter and ignited the sellout crowd in the second quarter with the most nastiest slam that I've ever seen in my life off a Asar Thompson. Oh my Lord. Now, I understand that Max Strus is a three-point shooter, right? I understand that Max Strus is a three-point sniper, and what Cleveland really struggled last year, especially in the playoffs, was shooting. And I was really happy that we got Max Strus off a sign and trade from the Miami Heat before the season began. But nobody told me that Max Strus got hops, okay? Nobody told me that Max Strus was able to get up and throw the hammer down. Nobody told me that was going to happen. Nobody told me that Max Strus could get up and dunk. He had a poster the other night in Portland, and I was like, how can I take it up a notch? Oh, yeah, slam a poster on the best talented rookie in the NBA, in Asar Thompson. J.B. Bickerstaff said about Max Strus, he has an infectious energy because of how hard he plays the game. He has a way of making momentum-shifting plays, whether it's a big three or a big finish at the rim, and Max Strus was an absolute catalyst of the Cleveland Cavaliers win. He, Darius Garland, and Big Mo Evan Mobley played a big part as the Cleveland Cavaliers took care of the Detroit Pistons as everybody expected. They have a really tough test against the Denver Nuggets tomorrow, the NBA champions. But you know what? If Donovan Mitchell is back, if Donovan Mitchell suits up for that game, buckle up, everybody, because it is going to be fun. This could be a potential NBA Finals preview. I'm just saying. 51% for the field for the Cleveland Cavaliers, 42% from three, compared to 43% for the field for Detroit, 25% from three-point range. The rebounds in favor of Detroit, 86 to 71%. The rebounds, like I said, 51-39. All credit to the Detroit Pistons there, including 18 offensive rebounds for the Pistons. So if I was the Cleveland Cavaliers, I need to learn how to box out, because Nikola Jokic is a beast on the boards. And if you don't box out on Nikola Jokic, he's going to crash the offensive glass. That is a given. But the Cavaliers did a really good job at points of the paint as per usual. 56 to 44 for the Cleveland Cavaliers in the paint. And again, the Cavs, as I said earlier, needed a get-right game after a tough road trip, and that is exactly what they had. Cade Cunningham, 20 points for the Detroit Pistons with 8 assists and 5 rebounds on the night. Asar Thompson only had 9 points, but he also had 10 rebounds and 2 assists on the night. 5 turnovers, uncharacteristic for him. Jaden Ivey did well off the bench with 11 points. Burks and Umade finished with 10 points apiece. Stewart and Kevin Knox had 11, but Cade Cunningham was the only Piston that showed up. As far as the Cleveland Cavaliers, Darius Garland did a really good job leading the Cavs, 28 points with 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Big Mo, another double-double, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. Jared Allen, 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 5 big blocks. He told the Detroit Pistons 5 times last night to get that weak stuff out of here, and I absolutely love it. Max Strus, 18 points. He was 4 for 8 from 3, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 steals, a block, and a nasty poster on Asar Thompson. Woo! I can watch that poster any day of the week, baby. And Craig Porter Jr., all credit to him, 12 points with 3 rebounds and 5 assists. Really impressive off the bench for him. And Karis LeVert, again, he's been good off the bench so far this season with 10 points and 2 steals. So it was a good win for Cleveland, a get-right win for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And now they are facing the biggest test of the season against the Denver Nuggets, the reigning defending undisputed NBA champions. That's going to do it for today's edition of Let 'Em Know Kings United. You can find this show on Amazon Music, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Pandora, Spotify, and wherever else you want to listen to the show. Give the show a follow on those platforms. Turn on your notifications so you know about the next episode. Please rate and spread the word out to your friends. Give Let 'Em Know Kings United a 5-star review on whatever podcast platform you are listening to this on. I'm your host, Skylar Weisberg. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you right back here for another episode of Let 'Em Know Kings United.